Today on Primal TV, we're waiting for parts for the Polaris. We're waiting for parts for the Sea-Doo. So we're working on the small block. It's been sitting here for 6 months. We're assembling the heads today, and we're gonna show you how to do that. And then we're gonna put them on the block. All right, we lapped all the valves in. We got new valve seals on here. Now we gotta measure installed spring height if you come in here. Got my valve in, drop my micrometer right down there, put our keepers in. Our valve installed height here is completely out of whack. We got our installed height measured, 1.77, close enough for me. Valve spring cup and retainer, valve spring compressor, this is exactly as hard as it looks. Possibly harder. You can get better ones. This one's from China, obviously. Get your spring compressed enough. Which I do, apparently. Drop your retainers in. Just like that, easy as pie. Okay, we got our valve here. We're gonna check installed height. Everything had 1 or 2 shims on it when I just assembled it. So I'm gonna just start with 2. Off the rip here. Micrometer. Spring retainer. It's way out of whack. It's best to go with your thicker shims so you don't have 100 thin ones in there. And that's what we're looking for right there, 1.77. So now we'll get our valve spring, spring cup, retainer, valve spring compressor, drop our 2 retainers in there. And that's installing a valve spring. Installing a valve spring. Alright, this head's complete. Ready to go on the motor. We're going to move on to the next one. Okay, we're on to the second cylinder head. These valves are lapped. There's new valve seals in. I'm going to take these valves out. Pinch my thumb there. take these valves out, keep them in the same order. They gotta go back where they came from. If you can hear that pop, that's my finger on the valve seal, and that's how we know the seals are working. If you take a look in here at this valve seat, there's a nick in here, and this is why these heads came apart. A spring from the carburetor fell in there.
Yeah.
This is an absolutely devastating mark in this valve seat, but we're gonna run it anyways. That's the kind of stuff we do around here, kind of work we get done. We've lost a valve spring retainer clip. If you come over here, we don't have enough. So we're going out in the driveway with this magnet where I washed them in a bucket. So after re-examining the crime scene, Marv messed up. We got all the clips. It was hidden underneath one of these springs that Marv put there. Okay.
Yeah.
We got both heads assembled here. I'm just gonna scuff up the mating surface with some Scotch-Brite, scuff up the block, and then we'll be bolting them together. These are the cheapest head gaskets you can get. This is not as easy as I was predicting. We got ARP high performance head studs here, $140 on Amazon. They're not head studs, they're head bolts. Shiny. We're going to torque this first head down. We're going to do it in 3 sections. We're going to go 25, 40, 65. That's the final torque. We're going to follow this pattern here. Screenshot it. That's 25 pounds done. This is a Power Fist torque wrench from Princess Auto. It was $25. The heads are on. We're ready to put the lifters in, push rods in, rocker arms. But Marv is starving. He's been sitting in the chair all day. Worked up an appetite, so I'm gonna go barbecue. We got the heads on the motor. We're gonna do lifters, push rods, rocker arms tonight. So come on in here. Got our lifters soaking in oil. Assembly lube is just all over the place. I'm checking out these bores, making sure they feel smooth, they're clean, there's no gritty shit in them. I got one in already. It's standing up a little bit on the lobe. That's going to be important later. You want these to kind of fall into the hole nice and satisfyingly. Should be a perfect fit. Not like that at all. That oil's going to come out at the bottom and fall on the floor. Putting the push rods in. You want to make sure they sit right down on the lifter. Good time to check out the plunger in the lifter, because these are hydraulic lifters. Should have told you that.
Yeah.
Well, the hard part's over. We're putting the rocker arms on now. It's pretty simple. You got a little ball. This is for the push rod. Just put her on. It's important when you put these on, once you get them snugged up with your fingers, you got to make sure your push rods are seated right, properly in the plunger of the lifter, not crooked. It could look like this, or it could look like this, or it could look like this. It ain't right. It'll throw everything out of whack. Okay, we got all our rocker arms on here. Resting properly on the push rods, properly on the lifter plungers. We're just gonna tighten them down, just snug, not tight at all. So we got one rocker stud here with some messed up threads. The socket was glowing red hot by the time we got it wound down. It's on there now. Won't be an issue till it comes back off again. Okay, we got all these rocker arms on here. Nuts are snug. We're gonna set the valve lash. So we're gonna tighten them till we can feel some resistance as we're spinning the push rod. When you start to feel resistance, you go one half more turn. Since we got the intake manifold off this motor, we can see the lifters. And this is only really effective on lifters that are not lifted. They're in the bottom of their bore. So we're gonna skip the valves that are open via the cam lobes. Okay, we've done all the rocker arms that we can in this position, so we're gonna turn this motor 90 degrees once the bolt's tight. As you can see, a few of these have come loose. That's the lifter falling down into its bore. So we'll go through and adjust those now. Just when it begins to get hard to spin, one more half turn. Another 90 degrees. They're all tight again, another 90 degrees. Okay, zero valve lash is adjusted. It's time for an intake, valve covers. Intake gasket, cheapest one you can get. Valve covers, cheapest one you can get. We're cleaning up the mating surfaces on this intake manifold before we put it on. The last guy used a crazy amount of silicone. The last guy was me.
Okay, while Peter cleans up the mating surfaces, I'll put the valve covers on if I can get this package open.
The website asked me if I wanted the hose punch for an extra 50 cents. I said, fuck no!
These are the new valve covers. Still in the bag. Just stick those in. If we can find a hole.
Now that the mating surfaces on this intake manifold are clean enough to eat off of, no they're not. They're still full of bumps and grooves and old silicone, but I'm gonna slap it on anyways. It's gonna run like a fucking top. Your intake manifold gasket's gonna come with these gaskets for the valley on the back and the front of your intake. You throw those in the garbage. Use black silicone. Just a big healthy glob of silicone in these valleys.
That's a lot of silicone.
Make sure you get it right in your oil pressure. Okay, so we assembled the heads, installed the heads, installed a bunch of accessories, Chinese junk, most of it. Figured out the hard way I don't have a drain plug in the oil pan, and I only ordered one set of valve cover studs. But the motor's complete, and next video it'll be going in the car.